The Beast incarnate just sent shockwaves through the WWE universe, and the aftermath of that backstage incident is going to reshape everything we thought we knew about Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar snapped on Femi in a brutal encounter that nobody saw coming, and today we're breaking down exactly what this moment means for both superstars and the entire landscape of Raw going forward. If you haven't heard about this yet, you're in for a wild ride, so stay locked in as we dive deep into what happened, why it matters, and where this collision course is taking us. For years, Brock Lesnar has been the measuring stick of physicality in WWE. The Beast incarnate doesn't lose often, and when he gets physical, everybody pays attention. But lately, we've been seeing a different side of Lesnar emerge. He's been more calculated, more methodical, almost like he's biding his time before he strikes. Then Femi entered the picture. The Nigerian Nightmare has been nothing short of a revelation. He's young, hungry, and he possesses a kind of raw power that WWE hasn't seen in quite some time. His combination of size and athleticism has been turning heads, and more importantly, it's been putting people on notice that there's a new force rising through the ranks. What made this backstage incident so significant is the context leading up to it. Femi wasn't backing down from anybody. He was standing tall, cutting promos, making noise, doing all the things a rising star needs to do to break through. And that kind of confidence, that kind of presence, is exactly the type of thing that gets under Brock Lesnar's skin. The Beast doesn't take kindly to young guys stepping into his space without understanding the gravity of that decision. It's not just about ego either. In Lesnar's mind, there's an old-school mentality where you have to prove yourself against the absolute best before you start making waves. The actual physical altercation tells us everything we need to know about where both men stand right now. Lesnar didn't just attack Femi out of nowhere. There's clearly been tension building, and this backstage moment was the breaking point. What makes it interesting from a storytelling perspective is the psychology at play. Lesnar is sending a message that can't be ignored. He's telling Femi, and everybody watching, that if you're going to step into the spotlight, if you're going to make noise, if you're going to carry yourself like you belong in the main event conversation, then you better be ready to back it up against the most destructive force in this company. For Femi, this is a crossroads moment. He can respond one of two ways, and both paths lead to different stories. He could shrink back, let the intimidation get to him, and become just another guy who had their momentum stopped by the Beast. Or he could rise to the occasion, let this fuel him, and prove to the entire world that he's not just some young talent with potential. He's someone who can stand toe-to-toe with the absolute elite. That's the kind of narrative that defines careers. That's the kind of moment that separates the good from the great. What's particularly fascinating is how this positions both men moving forward. Brock Lesnar is reminding us why he's been such a cornerstone of this company for so long. He doesn't need a title program to be relevant. He doesn't need to be in the main title picture every single week. His presence alone elevates everything around him. When Lesnar is involved in your story, people pay attention. That's a level of star power that's impossible to manufacture. Femi, on the other hand, now has an opportunity to make one of the biggest statements of his entire career. A confrontation with Brock Lesnar, especially one that's been kicked off in such a physical manner, is exactly the kind of high-profile encounter that can catapult someone into genuine main event status. The eyes of the entire WWE universe are going to be on how he responds to this. Does he have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the best? Can he stay composed when facing off against someone with Lesnar's track record? Looking at the bigger picture, this incident also raises questions about authority and oversight on Raw. How does the management respond? Do they book these two in an official match? Do they try to keep them separated? Sometimes the most compelling stories come from the backstage drama and the management decisions that follow the physicality. Whether it's a disciplinary hearing, a confrontation in the ring, or a full-blown match, the follow-up to this moment is going to be crucial in determining the trajectory of both superstars. The beauty of professional wrestling is that moments like this can define everything. They can be the genesis of a rivalry that lasts for months. They can be the catalyst that finally gets that rising star over the top. They can remind the world why an established legend continues to demand respect. This backstage attack between Brock Lesnar and Femi has all the ingredients of something that's going to have lasting consequences. The wrestling world is watching closely now. Everybody wants to see how this plays out. Everybody wants to know if Femi has the guts to stand up and say Brock Lesnar doesn't scare him, or if this is going to be the moment that teaches him some hard lessons about stepping into the deep end. The Beast incarnate has made his statement, and now it's time for the Nigerian Nightmare to respond. This is exactly the kind of unpredictable, physical storytelling that makes Raw must-watch television. The talent on this roster continues to deliver week in and week out, and these moments remind us why we keep coming back. If you want the deeper analysis of every major storyline developing on Raw, if you want to understand the psychology behind every championship program and every rising star's journey, then you need to be subscribed to WWE Express. We break down everything happening in the WWE universe, from the main event scene to the emerging talent making their mark. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and never miss an episode of WWE Express.